right now I'm going to show you exactly how to rig this dice bait. All it is a frog hook sticking right through the dice bait, and we used some heat shrink tubing and some nail weights to heat shrink the nail weight to the hook and get the hook right on through there. One of the biggest problem with these urchin style or dice baits is losing the bait itself and hookup ratio. And with this bait rigged this way and you have the line coming in here, your hook will never come off of this lure unless it rips. But with this super elastic material, these baits will pretty much last forever and never rip, hypothetically, if you do it the right way. And with this super big wide gap hook on here, your hookup ratio will be a lot better than if you use a smaller hook. And with all these tentacles on here, it still keeps the bait mostly weedless and hides the hooks from the fish. So I got this one right here. This is an 18mm dice bait, and this one here is a 12mm, which is already rigged up. I'll show you guys exactly how we're doing this and what it all looks like. Right here is the hook shrink tube with the nail weight to the back side of it, and that's exactly what you're looking for. So for this, all you need is a frog hook. I pulled these right out of a frog bait that I had laying around. You can get them at the store anywhere. And then we're using nail weights. For this small 12mm, I use a slightly smaller frog hook. That way it's not too big and not too small. And I also use a 1/32 ounce nail weight, which is much smaller for this smaller bait. And I'll show you exactly what we're doing here. So first thing you want to do is you want to grab your hook and some shrink tube. You want that to measure it out, kind of eyeball it, get right where you want it, trim off any excess, and then you're just going to stick that shrink tube right over it, just barely touching that eye of the hook. That way you can still tie your line. And next, for this bigger hook and for this bigger weight, we're gonna use, or bigger dice bait, 18mm, we're gonna use a 1/16 ounce nail head right there. So then you just stick this nail weight on the back of this hook, just like that. Try and get it down a little bit, just like that. Then you want to grab some sort of pliers. Got a pair right here to hold onto this, just like that. And you're going to grab a lighter and shrink this tube. Heat shrinking this to the hook secures the weight. It won't come off. A lot of people just stick it in the bait and it'll sometimes fall out. And you don't want that, because then you're going through weights pretty quickly. So once you get that heated up and on there, you're gonna let it cool off for a second. Now most of these dice bait come with little rods sticking right through them. So we're going to reuse that same hole that it came with to stick this hook straight through the bait. Gonna let it cool off a little more. And as you can see, this is what they turn out to look like. Alright, next, you can either use some sort of power bait scent to lube this up, or you can just use some old-fashioned spit. And next, you're just going to want to find that hole and stick this right in there. Alright, it worked much better with this small bait. This bigger bait and bigger hook and bigger weight needs a little bit of adjusting. So I'm going to take my scissors and just stick it in that hole, move it around a little bit, and try to expand it just a little bit. Just enough so that way we can get this hook through. And just like that, you got your eyelet sticking on one side. You can still see that nail weight, which isn't the best. So you can stick it up just a little bit more. Find that perfect in between. And just like that, you have it all rigged up and ready to go. And that's how I like to rig these sea urchin baits. So now I get these tied on the pole, and we will see you out on the water to see if these baits actually work and how good they can be.